What's up, everybody? I'm going to get a few things together here. Let's see. Good evening. Good evening. I guess most people it's probably early or late evening. Just making a post real quick and then we'll get started. I'm going to bring Seb up if he's good. Seb, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure. So you got DeFi Tuner up today.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Meteor AI. I'm going to be looking at a bunch of different tools, honestly. Kind of go over a few different things that I'm doing.
Nice.
I'm going to talk about a few different ones. Cleopatra bot. I'm going to talk about Meteor AI. Kind of go through some of the things that I've been doing in the current market, which I plan to make a little video about, but I think it'd be good to talk about it on stream as well. So
sounds good to me.
Yeah, we'll just talk about some general market stuff as well. Kind of get your thoughts on what you're seeing, what's going on. Quarter mile. I'll answer a question in just a moment once I get everything up here. Get a few more people in. Welcome everybody. I think unless you're in East Asia or a few other parts, but most people it's probably either early evening or it's nighttime, depending where you are. Seb, you had a good time in the garden?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Glad to hear it.
These markets are kind of coming back, and there's more opportunities. Obviously, Routine was a great DLMM opportunity throughout the weekend, which I didn't get on, but I saw it. It's good to see that markets are kind of looking a little bit healthier.
I agree. I mean, it is interesting though, because like Routine, let's take a look. It hit like 18 mil, maybe. Yeah, like just almost 19. Yeah, 19 mil is like where it peaked at. 19 million market cap, which is funny because like this is a massive meme. Like there were, like huge names like posting about their routines, And I think just a few months ago, this thing probably would have easily hit 100 mil. And so, but we saw it hit 19 and that was it, even though it was the, pretty big meme. I mean, his video hit like over 500 million views. And so to see that it only did this is kind of crazy. But honestly, I could have kept my my DLMM position open for the last few days for sure, but always taking the profits. I had two good pools, so I opened two different ones and did well on both of them. I think one was around like 25% and the other one was like 45% return on those pools. So I don't go into anything with any large positions now in comparison to what I used to, just because got to be a little more hesitant. But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
Have you used? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's still currently leading. It's a trending pool on solmeteor.ai, so that's good.
Yeah. Are you using Sol Meteor AI?
Well, I mean, I did have it the weekend off, more or less from stuff, and has been working more on content. But yeah, I am. It's a fantastic tool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they did a really, really good job. It's definitely one of the tools I want to talk about more that I've been kind of trying to highlight. So, Cunning Monk said, "Here we go. After this live, I will get some sleep." Hey, glad to hear, man. Quarter Mile said, "How do you decide each day to do Meteora, DeFi Tuna, HawkFi, etiquette, or etc." Sorry. I mean, I look for the opportunity to use any and all of the available tools at my disposal. And so I would say that most days I'm using both Meteora and DeFi Tuna, just in different ways. And basically I'm just looking for opportunities. So like recently y'all saw, like I had, this isn't up to date. Let me refresh this. I removed my fart coin and sold it for some profits. But I was lending on it because DeFi Tuna came out with a new pool where they have Fartcoin, and you can see it's earning 91% APY right now, but it was all the way up to like 140 at one point. And so the pool itself is doing really well. And so I was lending on it. Well, yeah, where's it at? Right here. You can see I bought it here and then I sold it here. And so you can see I made a good bit of money. I made some off of the little APY, but I made even more off of it going up. And so I took the profits on that. But, so I look for lending opportunities like this. So I'll check different supply rates and stuff like that to see if there's anything good. I'll then look at like Meteor AI and I'll go through some of the coins. So like Kulu is a newer one that's on the top of Meteor AI, but I'll look at it and then I'll say, okay, it only went up to 1.1 million. It's now at like 400K. Doesn't really look interesting. So I'll just go away from it. Right. But then I click on the next one and I see Routine. Well, I've been watching Routine and it seems to be still doing well. And then I'll kind of read and measure out the chart and then decide if I want to use it. And if I do, well, then I'm using Meteora to do that. Right. And I'll kind of go through and look at them like that. I'll then also use a tool called Cleopatra, which I did a video about. You can see that here.
By the way, the question's kind of blocking your pretty face.
Oh yeah. Cool. So Cleopatra is a bot, a Telegram bot that's super easy to use. It shows you all the different like P&L as the little P&L chart as it rebalances and the price goes up and down and everything. And so basically over time, it goes up and down. It's on a 20 bin, so it'll auto rebalance fairly often, as you can see. But it basically, I just set it up on like a Fartcoin USDC pool and it just runs. You do need my code. You can go find my video on Twitter. I have like a referral code. I think you do need that to access it. I think it's still limited. But you can access it and it's super easy to like set up a pool and it guides you through it. It recommends the best pool. It auto compounds, it auto rebalances for you. And that's the profit on that wallet that I have for that has been really good. And so anyway, that's a really cool tool. And so basically what I do is I come on, I look at, Meteora. I also look at Good Morning, Good Night and just kind of look at what they have as well, some different tokens. I'm kind of looking at gold because I'm interested in DeFi dungeons and it's been doing well, as you can see. I'm also interested in Fartcoin because it's one of the most stable, consistent coins right now that's kind of following Solana. And then Routine has been one that's pretty big. So I kind of just I'll maybe look at Saratoga or some of the other ones that have been popping up and then kind of decide from there. Also, I look at just generally like what Sol is doing. And so, I mean, there's a lot of places you can do it. Honestly, I use Jupe's perps, which isn't necessarily the best charting, but anyway, it's just the one that I use. And then I'll look at that and I'll look at the 15-minute, the 1 hour and the 4 hour. And basically I try to wait until they all tell me the same thing or get close to telling me the same thing. And then I make a decision. And so like I set up a pool when I don't feel super confident in the direction. A lot of times I'm using like Meteora. But when I am more confident, I'll use DeFi Tuna because it's leveraged. And so I get a better advantage or I'll make more, I should say, off of it if I am correct. So yeah, that's kind of how I go through my day and how I decide which ones I'm going to use. I haven't used HawkFi as much. I still think it's a good tool. They've been adding some new stuff. I'm meaning to go back and take a look at some of the stuff they've added. The Cleopatra bot and them kind of compete, and so I've been using it. But yeah, overall, that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah. What about you, Seb? You haven't been doing as much LPing, huh? You've been doing more content or what?
I have been doing more content, but I'm far more keen to move into just like a set schedule with LPing. I've got one of my friends coming over tomorrow. I'm going to start teaching him, and he's going to be doing pretty much, full time with a wallet, and just tracking everything. Because the market's kind of coming back, and it's far more fun. And need to make some gains, and I think this and maybe DeFi Dungeons will be like the major catalyst right now. I'm also I'm
really excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of pleased that things are less frothy because
I agree.
Frothy is fun, but then at the same time, like we have to have some sort of return to like fundamentals in a sense, right? It would be good if there were some projects coming out that like going to have some sort of longevity. I mean, you look at all the AI things. I kind of missed the AI coins, Zero Bros and AI 16Z and all these tokens, and they now like it'd be very difficult for them to go anywhere near their all-time high because they're cool, but then they're completely overvalued. They're just pumped up by whales who took massive profits, just absolutely destroyed retail. And I remember, someone I trusted, he said, I'm buying some Zero Bro or whatever it's called here, and I went and bought like $3,000. And it's worth like $250, and that was silly by me. But at the same time, it wasn't, I didn't even buy it at a crazy market cap. Like it was under half a billion. So,
and at one point it was over 1. So
So I'm keen. I'm really keen just to go and just hit Meteora for the most part. Cleopatra, I haven't used it yet. I've been meaning to, so I've got invites and whatnot. So I will check that out. It's been working quite well for you.
Yeah, it's been really good. So the I mean I'll just show you here, but like I mean I've basically, I mean you can see a giant red number here, but that's because it dumped pretty heavily right here. Yeah, that was during this right here. But it's fine because it goes up and down, right? Just like anything. And so like basically, I mean, I can walk through it real quick. It's actually pretty simple. So let's just do it. So I'll just show you. So you just click portfolio. It's a few simple buttons. So it's literally in Telegram, just like this. It shows my current position. I just click close. So it's like super easy. It's like fairly fast and like how it does it. And then did it close it? Let's see. Oh, I need to click on the actual pair. Sorry. I know it says it right there, but anyway. So this will show you like all the details about the pool and all the different stuff. 24-hour fee currently. It's earning 3.44%, so that's pretty good. And then I'll just close out of it. Are you sure? Yes. I know they have the close refresh here, but I think you actually have to click on it. Might need to tell them that. Because then it asks you like to verify that you want to do it and all. But you can set up the auto rebalance. I actually have it at 1 hour. I should have had it soon. I should have had it quicker than that. You go all the way down to 15 minutes, which that was one difference. On HawkFi, they had it at 1 hour still. And so, but it'll close out the position for me. You can see it closed. And it's showing that I have a negative $99 P&L. I just reopened this like a few hours ago, right before it dumped, which is why that's the case. But basically all you do is you would go to your wallet first, and it'll tell you how much you have. And so I have $4,767 or 33.4 Sol in here, right? You can view your wallet's P&L, which it's up right now, which is good. And then all you do is once you've done this, like you have your wallet address and stuff. So you can just transfer tokens, Solana, to this wallet. You can export this wallet as well. And then you simply would go to start LP on DEXs. And then let me do this. You just have to pull the CA. It does give you a few options. So it shows you wallet, open a position. It'll show you like some different stuff like Saratoga and some different things based on volume. But you can also just enter in the CA like this, and then it'll be like, oh, cool, this coin, right? And you're like, yeah, that's it. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to open a position. It'll do all the swapping and stuff for you, which is really cool. So like spot or single-sided, I'm going to do spot. How much do you want to use? I'm going to use 32 Sol. Analyzing the best pool. And so like it kind of does all the like stuff that you would normally do manually. It makes it super easy and guides you through it, especially for people who are newer, because you don't have to like, one of the things that's like tough about the manual one is like you need to do the math yourself. You're like, okay, I need this much Sol, this much, or this much USDC, this much Fartcoin, and then you like get it, and then you set up the pool, and you're like, oh, I actually have a couple $100 of this left over. Let me rebalance and add that back in. It's a little clunky. And so this is nice because you can just, again, optimal pool detected, 20 bin, 0.2%, Fartcoin USDC. So it'll swap the 32 Sol I have. You have to confirm it here, but it'll swap it into the Fartcoin USDC perfectly even. And it's set to auto rebalance and to auto compound the fee. But once you start this up, which I'll show you in just a second, you can then go to your portfolio. It created the position. Oh, it's an initialize new position. Just give it a second and see if it takes a second to. There it is. Okay. So you can click on it and then you can adjust the settings on it. And so you can just do like rebalancing settings and enable, disable, change rebalancing schedule. I'm going to set it to 15 minutes. All right, cool. So there it is. And that's it. And then I can just leave it up. It'll give you notifications if you want. It'll just run. And basically as long as Fartcoin and USDC, Fartcoin is just going up and down, it'll just do it forever. I could leave this up for a month. And if I think that Fartcoin is going to go up over time, then I don't care that it's going up and down and I'm rebalancing constantly the whole way, because once it does come back up, I'll be earning more Fartcoin and then the value of that will be higher, right? So, it's really easy to set this up. Now, obviously, you could monitor it very closely yourself if you wanted, but this is one of those things that I'm not really worried about. I could also tell it that I didn't want the USDC pool and I wanted like the Sol pool or something. And so, anyway, so this is really cool, but that's essentially it. And then you can just leave it running.
So a couple of questions. So, you said you went single-sided into that, or you went?
No, I went spot. It gave me the option of either single-sided or spot right here, and I chose spot.
And then, does it give you the option like bid ask, curve, or spot?
Yeah, or? If you click single-sided, it will then, I think it then asks you whether you want to do bid ask or curve or what you want to do. When you do spot, it automatically does a spot strategy both ways. So
when you put in 32 Sol right then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right here, Go hard or go home. And so what did that split to in terms of USDC and Fartcoin?
You said when did it?
No, like what was it like? It was just like a
So it'll just split it up. So it's the value of 32 Sol, it'll just split it in half, and then half will go into Fartcoin, half will go into USDC. You can see here it asks all the questions, position overview. So this is the range, the amount. It's going to put 4,022 Fartcoin, and then K Fartcoin, and then 2.282K USDC, which will be perfectly balanced. And then it asks if I'm good, and I said yes, and then it creates it. So it just splits the 32 Sol. Yep.
This is 100 bin, or what is this?
So it says it right here. Whenever I told it that I wanted to do a Fartcoin pool and that I was choosing spot, and I told it how much, it then asks, it just then says optimal pool detected, and then it'll ask you about it. If you say no, you can then choose to like do a different pool. But I chose the optimal pool that was detected.
Cool. And what are Cleopatra's fees like?
They're very small. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's like it's pretty small. I think it's like, obviously Meteora has fees that will come out that they take, and then I think it's like, I don't know, maybe 0.01%. I looked at it, but I need to pull it up. Let me see here. Let me go to Discord and get the no, I'm gonna go on Twitter.
So for the automation stuff, you think Cleopatra's the best tool.
I think it's the most beginner friendly for sure. I think that there are other tools that are starting to come out that might have some more advanced stuff. Like I think HawkFi is starting to get there, and then I think there's some other ones that are maybe getting there, but they're not released yet. They're just like trying to start with all that. And here's the docs. And so, but I think Cleopatra is definitely like the easiest to use. I also like that it's on Telegram because Telegram's like, I don't normally like Telegram. I'm a Discord person, which you know, but on my phone, having Telegram, it is easier to use. And so like it'll send me notifications if I want to of like when it's rebalancing and stuff, but also I can just manually check it really quickly on my phone. And I can do like, if you try to set up a pool on your phone, it's hard. Like on the computer here, like it's much easier to be able to like swap everything I need and then come to Meteora and like do everything, you know? But like getting the CA, like it's clunky, you know what I mean? Like trying to do all that on your phone, but on this, you don't have to do it because it's literally just, you're clicking one of like a few different buttons on Telegram, which is very easy to do on your phone. Which like, I forget what it is, but like 30% of people that are in crypto don't even use a computer. They do it on their phones. And so anyway, so I just think it's easy to use both on the computer and off. And what did I do? Sorry, I was trying to find where I did the, here it is. Yeah, so I think it's the easiest to use. So let's see here. Quick start, FAQs. And I recommend you can come through all this. Here you go. What are the fees? So it's free to set everything up, and there's a 10% platform fee on LP fees of your active positions earned. Spot trading fees are 0.5%, lowest among all trading bots. Yeah, so they take a 0.5% whenever they do the trade for you. And then, which again, it's like a trading bot. So like Good Morning, Good Night takes 1%, right? So it's taking half of what Good Morning, Good Night takes, but it's doing it as like a similar speed, right? As far as like you making that trade. Now I'm not going to go use their bot to make trades. I'm going to use Good Morning, Good Night, or I'll use Jupe or the new one that I've been using, Titan, which has been really good, which we could also talk about. But yeah, so I'm just using this for the swap, but like this is a lower than normal amount, and being able to do it quickly, I think is good. And then there's a 10% fee on LP fees. And so 10% is what HawkFi takes as well. It's kind of the standard as far as like automated. So this is from your profit, from what you've earned. And so if you don't earn anything, then you don't pay the fees on it. But if you earn fees, then you do. And so, yeah, that's obviously something that you have to weigh. But to me, having a portion of my portfolio in this is nice to not have to worry about it, even though I'm paying a little bit. And so obviously like 10% sounds like a lot, but if you do the math on it, like it may end up being better that it's able to trade 24/7 every single day, every single week. And there's not downtime. And so that 10% of your fees gets offset, I think, by not having the downtime and being able to configure like auto compound and stuff like that and rebalance. But yeah, those are the fees. And you can look at more questions and stuff, how the strategy works, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, so if we took like Sol and USDC as an example, if you compounded that every day, and if it keeps on going out of range, then it's not going to be worth it because you're going to keep on paying 0.5% on the swap fee. So it depends if it's like a high volume, high APY pool. Because this sounds like it would be pretty good if it was Sol and USDC, but those swap fees would kind of eat through it.
Yeah, so this pool, this 2%, 0.2, or 20 bin, sorry, 0.2% pool is earning 3.8%, I think, a day. Okay. But also like, yeah, so I guess like here, look, we can do the math.
Because because the 20 bin is quite narrow. So if you're in the 20 bin and it goes, you know, everything sells into Fartcoin, you know, the price of Fartcoin, it drops, and then you've got it set up so every 15 minutes it will rebalance. You're then taking whatever you said 32 Sol was, so let's call it like $4,000. You're taking $4,000, and then you're going to swap that half of that from the USDC into Fartcoin, pay the 0.5% plus the actual swap fee, which would be minimal. And then if you did that every 15 minutes, or even if it was like 5 times a day, then you're eating it through your profits.
Yes, you are. Let me see here. I mean, it's been profitable for me, so I need to do. I mean, I guess I just need to do the math on it.
Well, have you done many 20 bin step situations?
Yeah, it's the only pool that I've been running. Let's see.
I guess
here.
I mean the difference is if the price is pumping, if Fartcoin goes up, you're doing well. But yeah, regardless, Fartcoin is it's funny. So we shouldn't have faded it. I mean, I didn't. Well, you didn't. But
yeah. No, I mean that makes sense. It's doing well. I mean, I guess that would be like, the downside of having it rebalance more often. But also when it's rebalancing, it's not swapping the total amount every single time. And so it is going into it, but it's not swapping like 4K every single time, right? Depending on when it's rebalancing and stuff, at max, it's doing half of that. And so I guess it just depends. But if you're doing like 0.5%, I don't know why it does that. 0.005 times, let's just say $1,000 is how much you have. That would be $5 if it swaps, but it's only swapping half of it to be able to set up the pool potentially. In this instance, I guess if I'm swapping Sol to USDC Fartcoin the first time, it would be the $5. But then after that, once it's already in the USDC Fartcoin, it would only be 2.5. So, I mean, I guess I could manually swap it to USDC first and then send it in if I wanted to save some money there. But it'd be $2.50 every single time that it's doing that. And then if I've earned, $50, then it's also taking 10% of that. So it's going to take like another $5. So it's taking like $7.5 every time I'm swapping. But like if I'm earning, that's if I made $50. But if I'm earning 3.8% a day, on my 1,000, then that's $38. And so if it's if I had $38 in a day, sorry, let me just do the math a little bit different on this, and then I do 0.1, so 3.8.
Because the reason why I brought it up is because many months ago we did like a whole tutorial with Sol and USDC and just showed the power of compounding. The thing is, if it's not earning enough fees, it will not be profit. Like it will eat into your fees.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, doing the math here, it looks like if I'm earning 3.8% on $1,000, that I'm earning $38, right? Yeah. And so, but like the fees that I'd be paying would be like $2.5 each time. So like if I swapped like 10 or 11 times a day, then yes, it would eat into all that profit. If that's all that I was earning, but also obviously like if the token's going up in value, then I could make money off of that as well. So that is another thing to consider, is that it's not just the fees, but I'm not swapping that many times. Let me see. Let me look at an example here of, and also it's pretty volatile today, more than it has been. Let's look at it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you do it. I mean, like I said, you could do it, where it swaps less often. And also it won't, whenever I set it to 15 minutes, it's not swapping every 15. It's just looking to see if it needs to swap. So obviously like you'd want to have it that like that more often. Yeah, I mean, it looks like on average, I'm swapping around like 6 to 7 times a day. So it'd be interesting. I need to look into that more though.
Mm. Well, I mean, I'll speak
Yeah.
to you, Mang, from Cleopatra, and just find out all the specific details. Because I mean, I'm so pleased that there are a couple of us, you more so, just focusing so much on LPing. It is, it's the only thing that I think will really make it. To be honest, everything else is just far harder this cycle around.
Yeah, I agree. And I like a lot of these tools and testing. I mean, I have been profitable on it. Obviously with Fartcoin going up even more so, but even before it was going way up, it was fairly profitable. So I think it just kind of depends. But like also if I wanted to, if the swapping would hurt me more, then I could just say, okay, instead of doing this 20 bin 0.2%, I'm going to use a different one. Or maybe I'll do like Sol Fartcoin, right? And we can do it that way. So like, let me see here. If I try to, let's do start LP. Obviously I only have like one Sol, but 1.3 on here. So we're going to do this, open a position. And there may be something on settings as well that you could set that will say like, no, I don't want to do this or that or whatever. Let's say I'm going to do one Sol. You can learn more about this strategy and the risks involved. Agents will do this. It says, would you like to enable auto rebalancing? I said no. Create position. No. So that's what it's giving as the optimal position. But let me see if I'm curious if it lets me, like how I can, let's see, it says it right here. Strategy. When you spot LP, here's what happens. You find a base token, find the best pool, swaps, sets up a concentrated position, compound Vs, what makes the strategy special. You can have up to 2 active positions at a time right now. Rebalancing is optional. It'll automatically do the swap, understand the risks, smart contract, market risk time, best practices, position creation checklist. Okay. So I wonder if it actually does let me, it may not let me swap into it, which is interesting. Let me see if I go like Solana, open up a position, and then we do, I don't know what the token address of Solana is. I've never looked up the token address of Sol. Is it even a thing?
It's not even on.
It's not going to be there. I wonder if it'll let me do that. Like if it would let me, or if it just does the different coins. I haven't tried to do like a Sol USDC pull or anything like that. Is USDC one? I guess I could just do that and see what it gives me. Yeah, it is. Oh wait, that's not it. Just kidding. Don't get scammed. I just have the token. I could do it like this. Hey, look, you're getting to see me trial and error here, go through some stuff. So, I mean, I have it in my wallet. I could just do this. I'm not sure if it'll... I could just click on any signature and then click on the Solana token that was used to do it. Probably. Looking at some random person's transaction here. I've never tried to get the token address of Solana before. Why is this so difficult? Because normally when I'm getting token addresses, I just look them up like on Good Morning, Good Night or something like that, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know if we have, but we could probably get one for like Wrapped Sol. So I'll send you Wrapped Sol in private chat.
Okay.
And then just check that out. Oh.
That's not it.
Sorry, it came up with there. Try that.
No.
No?
It keeps giving me a weird is that the token address? It might be. It's literally like wrap Sol. There you go. Open a position. Spot. Ooh. Spot. Spot. One Sol. Yeah, so you could use Sol USDC, whatever input in the token address. There you go. Sol USDC. This is doing the 4 bin, which is obviously pretty tight. But yeah, you could create it from there. So yeah, it's showing the optimal pool, which I assume just means like the highest fee generating pool. But yeah, I'd be interested to see, yeah, like if I could maybe just like get a few different options to do here. So yeah, that'd be good to look at. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Umang and see what his thoughts are. Very cool. So yeah, I don't know if you were going to say anything. I was going to come check out Meteor AI as well as talk about some DeFi tuna a little bit.
Yeah, just curious to see, like, where do you think narratives kind of go right now? We're still fearful. We're like 45 in Fair and Greed. Pump.fund is kind of not pulling in as much revenue, but it's still leading.
Right.
And the changes I've made means that, the competitors that were jumping out, Pumpkin.fund, GoFundMe, they're going to look harder. Plus, Ratings building their own token launchpad apparently, and many others are. But I'm curious to see where's our narrative actually going? Because you are right, routine should have gone much higher. Then again, it has no. He didn't create it. No one, just someone that was opportunistic created it, and they created it on the weekend. And yeah, people just wanted to kind of wait on the sidelines. And now we're starting to see like these funny coins come along, like Please, which I enjoyed, and it just doesn't feel like it wants to go higher, which is fine for like actually just provide liquidity, because they have these really nice ranges. And they can be a multi-day strategy. But then as soon as they break down from the range, you just kind of have to sell them. And that's what most tokens are like right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it seems like because of the amount of fear, like it's definitely keeping tokens away. But also, like you said, there isn't really a narrative, right? So like when there's a narrative, then people are more willing to put money behind it because of the narrative. But right now there's not. I mean, honestly, I think like gaming is one thing that's going to pick up. I mean, obviously with DeFi Dungeons coming out pretty soon, maybe end of this week or beginning of next week. I imagine it's something like that. The NFT launch is coming just in a few days, 3 days. So, or the minting of the final NFTs, I should say. And so I don't know, man. Like whenever I look at this, like there's different levels that I'm looking at here. It's been really good, like to see the accumulation down here as we kind of found a bottom, it seems like. But in reading these charts and stuff, like I kind of have an idea of like what I think Sol is going to do in the short and the long term. But like you said, there's not much of a narrative, and I think like things like gaming can do well, but ultimately like that's not going to be a narrative that like carries us, right? And so, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to look like as well. I mean, honestly, usually whenever there's a down market is when you see a lot of people build. A lot of people start creating things because there's less time just kind of pedal to the metal, like trading things, and more so time to be able to try to create and build in the bear for when things do pick up again. Which, I mean, we both have done that, tried to create more content and things. And so I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. I think we'll obviously see a gaming thing come up soon, and then from there, honestly, it might just be like utility coins. I think we might start seeing a lot of like new protocols, a lot of new businesses. Maybe it's going to end up being real world assets. We might see some sort of digital asset, hype around like a company or a business or businesses coming into the space with things like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely intrigued to see. Unfortunately, I don't control that. The cabal does, so I just follow the cabal.
Yeah, for sure. But no, there's going to be a push to utility for sure.
Yeah.
But I still think there's going to be some fun LPing adventures. And yeah, there'll be a couple of big winners when it comes to memes. And I think Bonk is actually going to start to come back. It's already come back quite a bit. And I think, people that were here when things were really dark previous cycle, they'll start to realize that, I don't think we would be here today if Bonk didn't come along. It was a very, very sad day.
Yeah, and so I guess like who's going to be the next Bonk, right? Like it probably won't be another meme coin like that. It could be DeFi dungeons, right? Like it could be a game, it could be something else. But like, there's usually a catalyst, right? Like essentially there's some company, some project that does something that really generates a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, a lot of actual value, to the space. And so I'm curious to see, what that's going to look like. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll see things like Bonk and other coins that have been around a while do well also, but there's usually something new as well. It's kind of a catalyst. And so we'll see what that is, but I'm interested to see.
Yeah, Steppen was the last kind of, I know the heist did quite well in 2023, but in 2022, Steppen came along that play to, step to earn, walk to earn game. That brought in over 1 million unique wallets. That was crazy. I'm definitely, in fact, I may have missed some announcements on DeFi Dungeons. I'll check it out just in case I did. But I'm excited for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I love games personally. And so like, I'm going to be, I put out a tweet talking about that. I started playing Off the Grid. It's a shooting game,
Yeah.
And so like, I'm interested in that. Like they have NFTs. It's built on AVAX, which again, like I'm into Solana, but if there's a really good game and it's like, that's what they use, well, then I'll use it to the extent that I'll, try to collect it and then send it over to my Sol wallets. But there's a lot of cool games like that. I mean, Off the Grid was pretty massive and still is, right? I mean, you had some of the top streamers in the world that were playing it saying like, this game is awesome, and saying like, I could see the use case for, the blockchain, their NFTs, things like that. So I think that's pretty cool. I've been having fun with that. And obviously DeFi dungeons and things. I think we'll start to see that become more. And honestly, if the space becomes more diverse, that might be a good thing anyway, right? So instead of there just being like this overall one giant narrative, like we've seen in the past, like meme coins and other things, NFTs at one point that people jump on around speculation, maybe we'll start to see more of these, different sectors start to do well and it become more diverse. And that might be a healthier thing, I don't know how healthy some of these really hyped events, speculation events are with meme coins and NFTs and such.
No, I agree. Off the Grid. So are you actually doing okay there? Like, did you have to buy an NFT to start playing the game? How'd that work?
No, I downloaded the game and it's on Epic Games, and you just create an account and you log in and you can start playing. You start earning their like in-game token gun, and then it needs an update, and then you can you can start playing right away, and you can start earning like skins that you can then sell like in their in-game marketplace and stuff like pretty quickly as well. And I haven't looked into it, like I haven't extracted anything, but I imagine that I could withdraw that token at some point. There's a whole, I'm sure, just Google search how to withdraw their guns token. Wait for the listing and how to take wallet integrated link. So you can't withdraw real money from the game now, but it looks like maybe you build up that coin and then eventually you'll be able to. Let's see. Essentially, like right now, you're building up your kind of like whenever you farm Meteora, right? That's what we're doing, right? We're doing DeFi stuff, and as we use their protocol, we build up points, which will eventually be Met points. Seems like it's kind of similar to that, in that you get the guns token in game right now, but they're not withdrawable yet. But they will be maybe at some point. Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like how many players? Like these are full lobbies because it's a multiplayer game, right?
Oh yeah, it's online. I mean, like the here, let me show you the. Like it's massive. So almost 500K followers. I mean, they've got a lot of people that watch it. They do a lot of streaming and stuff like that as well. Here's a guy playing. I mean, like, it's a really cool game. So it's like a battle royale shooter with the extraction aspect. That you extract basically the NFTs, like you get them, and you go to like an extraction zone to extract them, and then once you do, you collect them in game. So obviously you can also win the game. There's a lot of different things that you can do. It's kind of crazy. It's so like the idea is like really, really cool, but I mean, there's huge streamers, Shroud, Ninja, like all the very top like FPS shooting streamers that like played this pretty hardcore. They still do every now and then, not as much, but like it's kind of in their rotation of games now, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty massive. So here, look, I'll show it to you. I'll launch it. I'm not gonna like stream a whole game right now, but you can at least kind of see what it looks like. But I have thought about doing this, is streaming the games, streaming DeFi dungeons and streaming like different games and talking about how to do that side of things, Someone had mentioned BR1. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm down to stream DeFi dungeons with you, because it's something that, like, it's more luck. You upgrade and you go into a quest, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's an idle game, 5 minutes a day. Something like this, like I'm way past the age where I'm good at this, if I jumped in, I'll just be annihilated. I know. I absolutely
perfect. Know. You can just jump on in. We'll group up together, and I'll carry you. So
no, you won't be able to carry you. You'll have to be just full-time medic. It won't be.
I played trios the other day and won, and my teammates just both died, and then I won still versus other trios. So I'm not like amazing, but I'm decent at it. So, but yeah, I was just going to show the game a little bit, but it's a lot of fun. I like to keep up to date on all the different things. I mean, I do a lot of DeFi content, but obviously, like, I just want to do what I'm passionate about, which obviously will be DeFi. Like, I got this cool skin with the crown and stuff like that. I actually like won that. So the hexes is what they're called. And so you, I don't have any right here, but you open them up, and then like you have an inventory. So like there's these attachments you can have that like you get in game to be able to like do different things. So you get abilities essentially based on the attachments of your legs and your arms. You're like a, cyber or whatever. And there's all sorts of stuff. And then you can come to the marketplace, and you can like, the weapons, like if you can look at a gun, you can buy it for like the gun token right here, guns tokens, different rarities. And so like you can buy, but also you can sell. So if I wanted to, I could go to my inventory and be like, I'm going to sell like, I don't know, one of these, like this thing, and it sells for 500 of the guns tokens. Like that's what it's currently listed at today. And so you can see the price is like adjusted and changed. This is showing the last 10 sales, but it has at least 10 sales in the last day because it's showing those, and this is one day. So,
cool. Yeah, I mean, so just for comparison, last cycle, there are like the big game was Axie Infinity, and that was actually created in the previous cycle, and then it just kind of lay dormant, people playing it and whatnot, and then it just went massive, and it went massive obviously because of the earning potential. People mostly in the Philippines were like taking these NFTs and making a livable in their country wage, and the speculation just went nutty, and then just the whole thing collapsed. I had quite a few NFTs. At one stage they're worth like well over 10,000, and now they'll be worth a couple of $100 or something. And then they had an AXS token which like was launched on Binance, and it went from like 14 cents to $150 or something insane.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then other games kind of started to fundraise based off that. There was a completely separate blockchain. What was it called? It was made specifically for, I can't remember, but there was like a gaming blockchain that was created. And then there was Luvium, and all these games, the issue with all these games is they all have like this multi-year, they take a long time to build. Like, I don't know how Off the Grid did so well. I imagine they built it, and then they just got a
Yeah,
grant from Avalanche, and then they're just like, all right, well, let's do both of them, and corner both markets.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have like a jetpack, and so like you can like fly in. They have like toxic gas. It's always really laggy, like right when I load in. But you come in and pick up crates and stuff like you would in lots of different games. And like I said, you can like
this is very
just
laggy. The streaming platform we're using isn't like super fast FPS, but is it laggy for you, or is it okay?
Yeah, it was a little bit laggy. So I fell to the ground, and there we go. My legs fell off, but I just attached them back. So anyway, this is just like a warm up thing, but I mean, it's super well done. For whatever reason, when I first joined into that like warm up mode, it's like a lobby where there's like an immense amount of players that are like waiting to get into a game, and so it's kind of like whatever reason, it's laggy. Yeah.
I wonder how long they're building for, because
it's a really like good game.
Because Star Atlas, I've been building for years and years and years, and although they've released some things along the way, and I tried to cover it in the bear market, it was so complex that to anyone that likes Star Atlas, I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not the target audience, but I just don't think it's going to have the success they're after.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stream. It looks like the stream's slightly more laggy than the actual game is, but maybe it'll pick it up. Oh, my legs. I killed myself.
Oh, okay.
Well. Oh, there's gonna be some random kid yelling.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just trying to say, like, I understand GameFi can kind of bring in quite a bit of attention, but it takes so long to build. And last cycle, people realized, like, I didn't get involved with Star Atlas in 2021. You could like collect these posters, and then if you collect all these posters, you get like an allocation. You could buy more tokens, and that was a very profitable thing. Basically, you took $69 on Radium if you won the lottery to purchase the tokens, and then that turned into 48 hours later $10,000. So it was like very decent.
There's a lot of speculative events like that for sure. And I think we'll see a similar thing with DeFi dungeons, right? Not necessarily that much, but I mean, I think people speculate. There's people who are playing the game. There will be demand and utility for the token. And so I think we'll end up seeing something like that. So I'm excited. I think there'll be some good money to be made, but also I'm excited to actually play the game. I think the way, Toledo is saying here, like these different games, Ronin, Sandbox, Gala Games, stuff like that. There's a lot of like money. There's a lot of big games, Star Atlas, that have put a lot of money into stuff. But honestly, like Star Atlas is a niche game. Like they're putting an immense amount of money into something that's like targeting a certain demographic of people. And so like I could never see Star Atlas having like 1 million players, right? Like even a couple 100,000 players would be crazy. Excuse me. I mean, maybe like over time they'll have that many players, right, that have played the game, but not like all at once. And so I think it's more of a niche game, even though they're putting a huge production behind it. But there's more people that play Candy Crush or Subway Surfers, And so to me, like really, if somebody could capitalize on that, they could figure out a way to create a game that's not necessarily going to take years and years and years to build, but something that's fun and addictive and can kind of have that sort of level of, just have it be a blockchain game. I think that's where it starts and then can grow from there. I mean, there's a lot of ecosystems.
I said the same thing years ago. If someone created a Clash of Clans, a cool Web3 Clash of Clans, game over.
Why doesn't it exist then?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I guess because if you can create a cool Clash of Clans, you can make more money just putting it on the App Store than you could in crypto, maybe, right? Like with the microtransactions and stuff. Yeah. Maybe people who look at that are like, oh, I don't even need to do that. I don't know. But I mean, DeFi Dungeons is going to make good money. So I don't see why like other people wouldn't necessarily like follow suit in that regard.
Well, they potentially will, because I mean, the Heist, when that came out, then they started to get a lot of like idle game kind of copycats. Just none of them had success, and then the Heist
Correct.
lost a
Yeah.
lot of its momentum due to like I think that the price of the NFTs went too high, tokenomics were
Yep.
not nailed. So hopefully we've got something. You know, DeFi. I do think they would have learned a lot of lessons, and so I'm just excited to see
Yeah.
when it launches.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, gaming I think will be maybe like a short-term narrative. I think DeFi Dungeons will do well for a little while, but I think that it'll kind of be the catalyst for that, which I think will help. The market. Let's see. Someone said Heroes of Mavia.
Yeah.
Someone said it's like Clash of Clans. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I was following that.
I think it needs to happen on Sol.
I was following that 2024, 2023. Yeah, but it wasn't. I mean, it's kind of died. It died down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, his engagement isn't great.
It's hard. Like, it is hard out there, and that is just one thing I think to keep in mind. Like, DeFi Dungeons have been building for over a year, and they've got something, and it's going to come out. There'll be, minor bugs every now and then. They'll ship things pretty quickly, but there's been quite a few others, or there'll be quite a few, I think there'll be quite a few people coming thinking they can just vibe code a game, and it's hard. So just be mindful of, if it looks like a hypey pre-sale, maybe get in, get out, have a moon bag, unless it looks like a fun game. Like DeFi Dungeons looks fun. And we know from the past that they can build stuff. But otherwise, I'm not going to get caught up in the speculation.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody asked, I think I did a video about how to get to $1 million. How's that going? Seemed like it was slow while earning less than $100 a day. I think some of the strategies aren't scalable. Thank you. I think scalability is less of a problem, and it's just more so the market being a big part of that. Also, like the idea of trying to do that, I could have done it a little better, a little bit different, I think. But also, I started to do it later in the cycle of like when meme coins are doing well. And so I just think it's harder to do for sure. Like you said, earning less than $100 a day. I mean, I can earn $100 a day, but either way, it's still difficult to do. So it's a fun thing to like say like, okay, I'm going to try to do this. But at some point, the market coming down made that much more difficult. And so, I think that's why. But yeah, I mean, also some strategies, scalability is important to think about, right? Like if there's, a pool with $100,000 in it, or like, total of 500,000 or whatever, right? And you're 20,000 of it. Well, you can scale up pretty hard before you dilute that pool. Whereas if you have $1 million and you put it in there, well, you're diluting it pretty heavy and the returns won't be as good, right? So there's definitely some scalability in that regard. You wouldn't have the same strategy wouldn't necessarily work if you're looking at like specific tokens. And so I would say it's harder now because there's just less opportunities overall. So, but yeah. So great. We've talked a lot about a lot of different things today, huh? Go ahead. Sorry.
The challenge still exists.
Yeah, it still exists. I'm just not actively like focusing or posting about it. But the goal is to get to $1 million. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy with that. I'm sure Seb would as well.
The other thing is like when you start to get some big wins, you can do what Prosper does. She's like she goes in with like size, like 250K on something with a bit of hype. And sometimes she makes 250K like that. And then you go and take some of that and you just stake it as SOL, right? Or you just, whatever, you buy a bit of Bitcoin.
Yeah, do a more stable strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're in a couple of positions. Sometimes you just go and park it into an app that looks like it'll give you an airdrop. And then you just kind of grow your position, so you're jumping in with bigger and bigger. I'm keen. That's pretty exciting.
Yep. Well, very cool. Hey, thanks, Seb, for coming on. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna close out here. We talked about a lot of different things today. We talked about DeFi Tuna and some of the strategies and stuff there. Not a ton about it, but we looked at it a little bit. I'm currently in a short position here, but we looked at Meteor AI and kind of how we can find different pools. We looked at Cleopatra and how, how to use that bot, which is good. I think you asked some good questions on that. But yeah, we're just going to continue to watch the market. Obviously, it's still up right now, but it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go from here and the narrative that forms. And I'll be back live Wednesday for anybody who's wanting to come on. And so thank you all again for being here. Thanks, Seb.
My pleasure. You said you had like an idea of where you think Sol's going though?
Oh yeah, you want me to talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that.
In DeFi Tuna.
Yeah, so you can see on the 15-minute chart, the MACD and RSI and everything are indicating that it's going to come back up a little bit here. I think it could come up similar to like the 144, 145 range here. It could actually come all the way up to 150 in the short term. And when I mean short term, I just mean within the next 12 hours. And then I think, though, that it's going to come down. And so like if you look at the 1 hour, where it's actually just starting to come down on the 1 hour on the MACD here. So you can see that here. The lines have crossed and it's actually starting to reverse down. And so that's one thing that's important when you're looking at these different time frames. Like you need to know the time frame that you're looking at and what that means, right? Because even though right here the MACD crossed and it looks like it's coming down, right? You can see the MACD crossed here on the way up. But on the way up, it still had dips, right? Just like this is having a dip here. And so I think, on the 15-minute, which again, probably the next 8 hours, maybe 12, we might see a little bit of up action, maybe even less than that. Again, I don't know the exact time frames. I just know like in general, roughly, I'd say minimum of 4 hours, max of 12 hours. We'll see it come back up a little bit here. And then I think if you look at the 1 hour, it's like just starting to dip down. And then if you look at like the 4 hour chart, it's just now starting to like stop moving up. And so on the 4 hour, it's indicating that it is going to come up a little more, which makes sense because on the 15-minute, it's showing that. But then if you look at the 1 hour, it's showing that it's crossing on the MACD, which is indicating that kind of in between the 15-minute and the 4 hour, we're actually going to see like an overall down price action. And so the 4 hour, once it matches up with the 1 hour, meaning this starts to get closer and cross, that's when you know that you're about to see a big dip. I think that is incoming, which is why I have the short position set up. But it's not like a hyper short position. It's a 0.4. And so it's closer to neutral, but it is slightly short. And you can see that because you can see I'm at 150 is where I put the top side because that's where I think the next strong resistance that it would break back down off of is. And then at the bottom, I have 133 because I think that's around where it would go on the lower side. But I'll actually look at close out the pool around the 138 to 139 range. That's actually based on what DeFi Tuna is telling me here is the most profitable. And so right now you can see that I'm in profit only about $22 in the bottom right. But like you can see what the future would look like with this. So it gives you an idea if it stays within this range in the next day, 2 days, you can kind of adjust it here. You can see how much you would make. And so you can see right here around the 139 is where it's around that 450 price is the best time to close it out. So the closer I get to the end of my range, the less I'll make. And also if it goes the other way, because I'm more short here, I'm betting that it'll come down more here. So if it does get to the end of my range this way on the top side, I'll lose a lot. So, but yeah, this is what I'm looking at. And obviously I'll earn fees while it's moving down here as well. So, but yeah, that's why I have it set up like that.
Cool. Well, yeah, you're risking a bit of collateral there. So it's around 15K. It's not super clear in terms of like bit rate. But
sorry. So my collateral is 16,500 roughly, just under, and okay. I'm in a 3x leverage. So my total position size is 50K, but I'm doing that with 16.5K.
Gotcha.
And so you can see here I've paid $4 in debt. But I've earned more than that. I have $17 pending yield, plus I've compounded another 17. And you can see now I'm up $35 on the P&L. So, but yeah, that's the gist of it. And also, I'll just...
sorry, at what point would it be, would it just, like, where's your break-even point?
It depends on the time. So, like... So this is the time, like when using this calculator, you have to give it a time frame. It gives live P&L, which is down here, but it also show you like based on how long you've had the pool open. So if you know when you opened it, like I opened this roughly 5 hours ago, so I could come to 5 hours here. And so let's say my break even, if I wanted to be in break even, it'd be between here, see where the green and the red meet, and here. So if I wanted to close out before then I could. Of course, let's say it takes a little bit longer and it sits open for another 5 hours. Well, now my break even's even further away than it was because I've been collecting fees the whole time, right? And this includes the fees they take and Orca and all that kind of stuff as well. So this is like full P&L that they're giving here. Yeah, so that's where it'd be the break even. And if I stay in it long enough, like let's say I stay in it like a few days, like 5 days, then as long as I'm in range, I'm going to be in profit no matter where I am. You can see that. Like this is 3 days, 23 hours here, right? Huge profit here. And then towards the end of my range on the downside, I'll be in range even if it goes, I'll be in profit even if it goes out of range. Of course, on the upside, it won't be so much. But I'll allow this to come all the way up here and then come back down. Like I'm pretty confident where we're at. So
cool. You're going to show one more page before I interrupt.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say on the lending side of things. So like right now, the lending rate. So they opened up a Fartcoin position, which is cool. You can do leveraged on that. And so the lending rates on this is actually really good. Let me refresh it. Wonder if it's updating. It's not showing there. Let's go to the dev wallet one and look at it. I could just have like way too many things open right now. I still have off the grid. I'll close it. It was in the background. There you go. But you can see like Sol has a 13.72% APY, which is really high. But even like if you come down here, Fartcoin currently has a 93% APY. Or sorry, no, that's utilization. Here you go, 72% APY. So you could provide Fartcoin to people that are, using the Fartcoin pool and earn 72% on it, which is pretty good.
Wow. Cool. Awesome.
Yep. So something to think about. Cool. Well, hey, thanks. I know we were going to stop like 5 minutes ago, but we'll actually hop off now.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Peace.